G'day mate, Andy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're exploring the fascinating linguistic heritage of Australia, specifically the most spoken native Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander languages still used today. But first, let's set the scene with some real facts. As of the 2021 Australian census, about 76,978 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people reported speaking an Indigenous language at home. That's approximately 9.5% of all Indigenous Australians. To put this in context, Aboriginal people are part of Australia's wider population of around 27 million, and many of them also speak English at home. So speaking a traditional language is exciting, but rare. Before Europeans arrived in 1788, Australia had an extraordinary linguistic diversity, with about 250 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander languages identified using strict linguistic criteria. Depending on how languages are classified, some researchers estimate the number may have reached up to 363 across the continent. Many of these languages are now endangered, or have very few speakers. But according to the 2021 census, 167 Indigenous languages were still being spoken at home. That's an incredible testament to cultural survival across tens of thousands of years. Modern science suggests that Aboriginal Australians represent some of the oldest continuous cultures on Earth, with ancestors arriving at least 50,000 years ago. They developed deep connections with the land, and over millennia, that shaped hundreds of distinct languages and cultural identities. For tens of thousands of years, Aboriginal languages were passed down orally, through storytelling, song, ceremony, and daily life. After colonization began in 1788, language use declined sharply due to displacement, forced assimilation, and English-only policies. This had a huge impact on traditional languages. Some Aboriginal words have entered Australian English, like kangaroo, boomerang, and koala. These words come from different Aboriginal languages, although exact origins can be debated for some terms. While there were hundreds of languages before 1788, today, most have very few speakers, and many are endangered. This decline reflects historical pressures and ongoing shifts toward English. However, revitalization efforts, including schools and community programs, are underway in many regions. Alright, now let's jump into the top 10. And we're starting with the most spoken. Yamplatok, often called Torres Strait Kriol, is a vibrant Kriol language spoken by Torres Strait Islander communities in the Torres Strait Islands and nearby Cape York Peninsula in northern Queensland in Australia. Yamplatok developed from contact between English and local languages like Miriam-Mir and Kalalagaoya in the late 1800s, and its name literally means our talk. This means it sounds familiar to English speakers, but its grammar and patterns are unique. It's a language in its own right. Yamplatok is commonly used for everyday chat, trade, singing, and storytelling across islands and coastal communities. According to the 2021 census, around 7,776 people speak Yamplatok at home, making it one of Australia's most widely spoken Indigenous languages. Children growing up on the islands often learn it from family and friends, and community projects have published books and music in Yamplatok, helping to share its rich vocabulary and phrases. Yamplatok blends English vocabulary with local language structures, creating expressive grammar that reflects both Islander identity and shared history. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Alright, another time again, this been Titsiol people lo the Sandbis close to lo Lake Galilee, and a big more people been Poleem. When I'm been look the mob, it humas, and been zapping the one boat, and I been talk with them people from the boat. I been learning them people plenty story he got meaning, and I one yarn he been got this kind.
Kriol. Kriol is an English-based Kriol language spoken by Aboriginal communities across northern Australia, especially in the Northern Territory, northern Western Australia, and far northern Queensland. Kriol began as a contact language when Indigenous Australians and English speakers needed to communicate. Over generations, it became a full language with its own sound system, grammar, and vocabulary that's different from English. Many young people grew up speaking Kriol at home and learned standard Australian English at school as a second language. In the 2021 census, about 7,778 people reported speaking Kriol at home, making it one of the most commonly spoken Indigenous languages in Australia. It is also a living language in media, music, and community events. Kriol has multiple regional variations, and though it uses many English-derived words, its grammar and sounds creates a truly distinct language system. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Pampai na Jesus bin kubek langa Lake Galilee, planga teachimbat ola people. That much people bin gaman planga listen langa him. And him after going langa boat, him jira langa that boat langa wara. And all the people been jammed up everywhere langa beach side, lonat langa him. And him dalem alabat story planga migim alabat jingibat.
Jambarpuingu. Jambarpuingu is one of several Yolngu languages spoken by the Yolngu people in Northeast Annam Land, Northern Territory. Yolngu Matha actually refers to a cluster of related languages, and Jambarpuingu is one of the largest varieties. These languages are central to Yolngu culture, connecting stories, law, land, and social life. Around 3,870 people speak Jambarpuingu, according to the 2021 census. Children still learn it in their communities, and it's used in ceremonies, song, and daily conversation. Like many Australian languages, Yolngu languages often use suffixes to indicate grammatical relationships, helping speakers express detailed meaning in rich, layered sentences. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Ko rale mariti. Na amirne. Chuchuch na kronika mariti. Maranga mariti no wangalala. Yakka. Yo ne yakko. Rale mariti. Ko ngale maritin. Kurta. Mirko.
Pitjantjatjara. Pitjantjatjara is a traditional Aboriginal language spoken by the Pitjantjatjara people across Central Australia, including parts of South Australia, the Northern Territory, and Western Australia. Pitjantjatjara belongs to the Western Desert Language Group, one of the largest Indigenous language networks in Australia. Its name comes from a word meaning go, and the language is closely related to neighboring dialects like Yakunjara. According to the 2021 census, about 3,458 people speak Pitjantjatjara at home. In many desert communities, children learn it alongside English, and it's used in song, storytelling, and family life. Pitjantjatjara vocabulary and grammar reflect deep connections to country and culture, with many terms tied to ancestral stories, law, and the landscape itself. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Nyundo kuari kuchupijangu. Wai. Ngola nyakunjaku. Yaki kurun anani. Ngayolo anani nguragoto. Wiya. Owa. Nyundo ini ngananya. Picha. Arala. Walu. Puyo.
Cape York Peninsula Languages. Cape York Peninsula Languages is a census category used when people report speaking one of the many Indigenous languages of Cape York Peninsula in Queensland that aren't individually listed. They are a highly diverse group of mostly Pamanyungan Aboriginal languages of far northern Queensland, dominated by the Paman languages such as Northern, Middle, and Southern Paman, including Wik and Guugu Yimithirr, with a few non-Paman, Pamanyungan languages like Yerbal and Babaram, and many are now endangered. Around 2,701 people reported speaking a Cape York Peninsula language category at home in 2021. The variety of languages in this category reflects the rich cultural diversity of Cape York peoples, each with its own identity and traditions. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Ngai ngank min tatang neang. Ayang apaw nin 20 nak iyane. Ngai awuchak iyanga. Yaa nampnung kwe pal iya ngamp iyampa tum ut.
Warlpiri. Warlpiri is a traditional Aboriginal language spoken by the Warlpiri people in the Central and Northern Territories of Tanami Desert region. Warlpiri is part of the Ngumpiniapa branch of the Pamanyungan family, and it has been written in the Latin alphabet since the mid-20th century. It plays a central role in cultural life, including song, law, and storytelling. According to the 2021 census, about 2,624 people speak Warlpiri. Schools and communities often teach it to children alongside English. Warlpiri is famous for its relatively free word order. Speakers can rearrange sentence elements without losing meaning because of its rich grammar markers. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Nyal pacara mikan ba? Nyundong ucu, ngakanang nyanyi, nyal parakurakan bayane, ngurakurakan nayane. Lawa, yuai, Nia ire nyundocho, yandane nyampokura. Yani Carlo, Warlo, Yuloro.
Tiwi. Tiwi is the traditional language of the Tiwi people on Bathurst and Melville Islands, north of Darwin in the Northern Territory. Tiwi is a language isolate, unrelated to most mainland Australian languages, and is central to Tiwi culture and ceremonial life. About 2,103 speakers were recorded in the 2021 census. Many Tiwi children still learn the language at home and in community settings. It has a complex verb morphology and structure that differs from the neighboring Pamanyungan languages. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Awana, nimpangi, maka nuputa, ngiang uda taputa, kalo, koa, intanguna intanga, kali tuwaripa, mana, mulapore, ikoni, indra, pumburupuni.
Murrinh-Patha. Murrinh-Patha is spoken by the Murrinh-Patha people around Wadiye or Port Keats in the Northern Territory. It belongs to the Southern Daly family, separates from the large Pamanyungan group. Murrinh-Patha has become one of the stronger Aboriginal languages in Northern Australia. According to the 2021 census, about 2,081 people speak Murrinh-Patha at home. Communities actively pass it to children through daily conversation and cultural life. Murrinh-Patha's simple vowel system and robust consonant set give it distinctive phonology among Australian languages. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Pata bamnyingado, mambaya, puya, ngarangoturan, nguran oda, yo, nangal murinyinyo, turogato, puruoda, tungo tai.
Alyawarr. Alyawarr is the traditional language spoken by the Alyawarr people in Central Australia, primarily Northern Territory. It belongs to the Arandic branch of the Pamanyungan family and shares features with other Western Desert languages. According to the 2021 census, about 1,951 people speak Alyawarr. Language classes and community teaching help support its continuation. Alyawarr and related Arandic languages use pronoun systems and suffix patterns that express meaning compactly and clearly in context. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Ngoring randara indio. Tukwal nga na vila. Alpila. Haranga. Iya. Pichao. Ba. Ra. Cord. And manda. Aricha. Young.
Yolngu Matha. Yolngu Matha is an umbrella term for a family of related languages spoken by the Yolngu people of Anam Land in Northern Territory. Yolngu Matha includes varieties like Jambarpuingu, Gumat, and many others. These varieties share grammar and vocabulary but are distinct languages connected through culture, song, and land. Around 1,786 people reported speaking a Yolngu Matha variety under this category in 2021. Communities still teach these languages to children and use them in ceremonies and daily life. Yolngu Matha languages use suffixes extensively to mark grammatical relationships and cultural meaning, creating expressive and patterned speech. Now, let's listen to a sample.
Nyabne lije, nyabne chuchuchpan, nyanjile nyone kirme, ngare kirme korble. Inke, ngay, nyon ware yagare, paple begrue, limban, jonge, ngerimbi.
So there you have it. The top 10 most spoken Australian Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander languages. And honestly, we've barely even scratched the surface. If this video sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to keep learning, listen to Indigenous voices, support language programs, and explore the incredible diversity that exists far beyond this list. Drop a comment, like, and subscribe for more language videos. Thanks for watching, because every language matters. See you next time!